Welcome to Talk About It in English. I am so glad you are here today because we are going to tackle a problem that almost every English learner faces at some point. It happens on Monday morning, usually right at the start of the workday. You are standing in the office, perhaps by the coffee machine, or maybe you are joining a video call, and a colleague looks at you and asks those 5 words. So, how was your weekend?
It is a moment that causes a lot of stress, doesn't it? Even for native speakers, there is sometimes a little bit of pressure to have an amazing story ready. But for English learners, especially at the A2 or B1 level, that pressure is even higher. You feel like you need to have done something incredible, like skydiving or traveling to a new city, just to have a valid answer. If you spent your Saturday cleaning your house and your Sunday watching movies, you might feel like your English is not good enough to describe it. Or worse, that your life is too boring to talk about.
That is exactly what we are changing today. We want to move away from that feeling of freezing up. We want to stop that internal panic where you just say, I did nothing, or it was okay. Saying I did nothing is a conversation killer. It stops the flow, and it makes you feel like you failed the social interaction. Today, we are going to give you the specific, natural, and modern English you need to talk about a quiet, normal weekend with total confidence. By the end of this lesson, you'll realize that a boring weekend is actually a great topic for conversation if you have the right phrases in your mouth.
Before we dive into the specific phrases, I want to invite you to join our community. If you want to stop just studying grammar and start actually talking about your real life, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Every week, we take a real-life situation just like this one and build the muscle memory you need to speak clearly. When you subscribe, you are telling yourself that your progress matters. Now, let's look at the first big mistake people make.
The biggest mistake is thinking that stay at home is the only way to say you didn't go out. If I ask you, Mark, what did you do on Saturday night? And you say, I stayed at home, what does that feel like to you?
To me, it feels a bit flat. It feels a bit like I didn't have any other options. It sounds a little bit lonely, or maybe even like I was sick. But if I use the phrase stay in, everything changes.
Yes, that tiny change from home to in makes a massive difference in how you are perceived. If you say, I stayed in on Saturday, it sounds like a choice. It sounds like you decided to enjoy your own space. It sounds cozy. It suggests you might have ordered pizza, watched a great show, or just relaxed. Let's try to put that into our mouths right now. Listen to this sentence. I decided to stay in and relax.
I decided to stay in and relax. Notice how speaker 1 connects the words. She doesn't say stay at home. She says stay in. The words blend together. Let's try that again, very slowly. I decided to stay in and relax.
I decided to stay in and relax. Now at a natural speed. I decided to stay in and relax.
I decided to stay in and relax.
This is a perfect phrase because it is honest, but it sounds sophisticated. You are telling the truth, but you are using the language of a native speaker. Another great way to describe a weekend where you didn't do much is to use the word low-key. This is a word that my students love once they learn it because it is so common in modern English. If something is low-key, it means it was quiet, relaxed, and not at all stressful. You might say, I had a very low-key weekend.
I love that word. It really captures the feeling of 25 to 35-year-old life, doesn't it? We are all so busy during the week that a low-key weekend is actually a goal for many of us. If you tell your boss or your friend that you had a low-key weekend, they will probably respond with, oh, that sounds nice. They won't think you are boring. They will think you are well-rested.
Exactly. Let's practice that pattern. I had a pretty low-key weekend.
I had a pretty low-key weekend.
Try to focus on the word pretty here. We use it to mean quite or rather. It softens the sentence. I had a pretty low-key weekend.
I had a pretty low-key weekend.
Now, what if you really did nothing? What if you truly just sat on the couch? Instead of saying, I did nothing, try this. I just had a quiet one.
I just had a quiet one. This is such a common British and Australian expression, but it's used in America too. The one in this sentence refers to the weekend. So you are saying, I just had a quiet weekend. But by saying a quiet one, you sound much more natural. Let's repeat that. I just had a quiet one.
I just had a quiet one.
I just had a quiet one.
Great. So now we have 3 ways to describe the general feeling of a quiet weekend. You can say you stayed in, you had a low-key weekend, or you
Just had a quiet one. Already you sound more fluent than 90% of learners who just say it was fine.
But we need to go deeper. A conversation usually needs a bit more detail. Even if your weekend was quiet, you probably did something. One of the most common things adults do on the weekend is catch up.
Oh, this is the magic phrasal verb for anyone over the age of 25. To catch up means to do something that you didn't have time to do during the week. This is where you can turn your boring chores into great English practice. Think about your life. What do you usually need more of during the week?
For me, it is definitely sleep. During the week, I am awake early, I am working late, and I am always tired. So on Saturday morning, I don't just sleep, I catch up on sleep.
That is a perfect example. Listen to the structure there. To catch up on something. You can catch up on sleep, you can catch up on work, you can even catch up on your favorite TV shows. Let's practice that specific phrasal verb because the preposition on is very important.
I spent the weekend catching up on sleep.
I spent the weekend catching up on sleep.
I spent the weekend catching up on sleep.
Now think about your household. Maybe your kitchen was a mess or you had a mountain of laundry. You can say, I caught up on some housework.
I caught up on some housework. This sounds much more productive than saying I cleaned. When you say you caught up on housework, it implies that you are a busy person who is finally getting organized. It gives a much more positive impression.
Let's try another one. Many of our listeners are probably behind on their favorite series. You can say, I caught up on some Netflix.
I caught up on some Netflix. This is a very common way to answer the question. It shows that you had a relaxing time and you enjoyed your hobby.
There is also another way to use catch up, and that is with people. If you meet a friend for coffee, you aren't just talking. You are catching up with them. This means you are hearing their latest news and telling them yours.
So if someone asks about your weekend, you could say, I stayed in on Saturday, but on Sunday I caught up with an old friend.
That is a beautiful, complete answer. It uses 2 of the things we have learned today. Let's shadow that full sentence. It's a bit longer, so we will take it slowly. I stayed in on Saturday, but on Sunday I caught up with an old friend.
I stayed in on Saturday, but on Sunday I caught up with an old friend.
Let's try it again at a more natural speed. I stayed in on Saturday, but on Sunday I caught up with an old friend.
I stayed in on Saturday, but on Sunday I caught up with an old friend.
Excellent. Now we are moving into the territory of being able to speak for 30 to 60 seconds without stopping. That is the goal for a B1 learner. You want to be able to provide enough information that the other person can ask a follow-up question.
That leads us to our next section. What about the things that aren't exactly relaxing, but they aren't work either? I'm talking about going to the supermarket, going to the bank, or picking up a package from the post office.
In English, we call these errands, and the verb we use is run. We run errands. It sounds much more natural than saying I did some small jobs or I went to many shops.
I love the phrase running errands. It sounds active. It sounds like you are moving around and getting things done. Another way to say this, which is very common in the UK and Australia, is doing bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces is a great idiom. It just means various small tasks. If you say, I just did some bits and pieces around the house, it sounds very relaxed. But let's focus on errands for a moment because it is used everywhere in the English-speaking world.
I spent Saturday morning running some errands.
I spent Saturday morning running some errands.
I spent Saturday morning running some errands.
Notice the rhythm of that sentence. I spent Saturday morning, then a small pause, running some errands. Let's try to say it with that specific rhythm. I spent Saturday morning running some errands.
I spent Saturday morning running some errands.
Now, what if you were doing things like paying bills, answering personal emails, or organizing your travel plans? There is a modern term for this that young professionals use all the time. It is called life admin.
Life admin. I hear this all the time now. Admin is short for administration, so life admin is the administration of your life. It isn't fun, but it is necessary. If you tell a colleague, I spent my Sunday doing some life admin, they will immediately understand and probably agree with how annoying it is.
It's a great way to build a connection because everyone has life admin. Let's practice that. I had to get some life admin done.
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 Now, let's talk about the idea of being productive. Sometimes, even if you stayed home, you feel good because you finished a lot of tasks. In this case, you can use the phrase, get things done.
This is a very strong, positive way to talk about a boring weekend. Instead of saying, I cleaned my room and I cooked food, you can say, I stayed in and got some things done. It makes you sound like a very organized person.
Let's practice the linking in that phrase. Got some things done. The T in got is often very soft, almost disappearing. Got some things done.
Got some things done. I stayed in and got some things done.
I stayed in and got some things done.
I stayed in and got some things done.
Now we are starting to have a very big toolkit. We have phrases for relaxing, phrases for catching up, and phrases for doing chores. But there is one more myth we need to break.
Is this the myth that you have to be honest about everything you did?
Yes. Sometimes you really did just sit on the couch and stare at the wall for 2 days because you were so tired. But you don't have to say that. You can choose how you present your weekend. This is where the phrase take it easy comes in.
Taking it easy is a classic. It means you deliberately decided not to do anything stressful. It's different from saying I was lazy. Lazy is a negative word. Taking it easy is a positive word. It means you were caring for yourself.
Exactly. So if someone asks how your weekend was, you can say, it was good. I just took it easy.
It was good. I just took it easy. Let's repeat that. I just took it easy.
I just took it easy.
I just took it easy.
Now we are starting to have a very big toolkit. We have phrases for relaxing, phrases for catching up, and phrases for doing chores. But there is one more myth we need to break.
Is this the myth that you have to be honest about everything you did?
Yes. Sometimes you really did just sit on the couch and stare at the wall for 2 days because you were so tired. But you don't have to say that. You can choose how you present your weekend. This is where the phrase take it easy comes in.
Taking it easy is a classic. It means you deliberately decided not to do anything stressful. It's different from saying I was lazy. Lazy is a negative word. Taking it easy is a positive word. It means you were caring for yourself.
Exactly. So if someone asks how your weekend was, you can say, it was good. I just took it easy.
It was good. I just took it easy. Let's repeat that. I just took it easy.
I just took it easy.
I just took it easy.
Now we are starting to have a very big toolkit. We have phrases for relaxing, phrases for catching up, and phrases for doing chores. But there is one more myth we need to break.
Is this the myth that you have to be honest about everything you did?
Yes. Sometimes you really did just sit on the couch and stare at the wall for 2 days because you were so tired. But you don't have to say that. You can choose how you present your weekend. This is where the phrase take it easy comes in.
Taking it easy is a classic. It means you deliberately decided not to do anything stressful. It's different from saying I was lazy. Lazy is a negative word. Taking it easy is a positive word. It means you were caring for yourself.
Exactly. So if someone asks how your weekend was, you can say, it was good. I just took it easy.
It was good. I just took it easy. Let's repeat that. I just took it easy.
I just took it easy.
Now, let's imagine a conversation where you combine these. This is the part where we build the muscle memory. We are going to do a little story. I will say the story first, and then Mark will break it down for us. Listen carefully.
My weekend was pretty low-key. I stayed in on Saturday and caught up on some sleep. Then on Sunday, I ran a few errands and did some life admin. It was nice to just take it easy.
That sounds like a perfect, natural answer. Let's look at the first part. My weekend was pretty low-key. This sets the tone. It tells the listener not to expect a big story about a mountain climb. It's an honest, relaxed opening.
Then we have the detail. I stayed in on Saturday and caught up on some sleep. We have used the phrase stay in to show it was a choice, and caught up on sleep to show it was necessary.
Then the second detail. On Sunday, I ran a few errands and did some life admin. This shows that you are also a responsible adult. It gives the listener something to relate to. They might say, oh, I need to do some life admin too.
And finally, the summary. It was nice to just take it easy. This closes the conversation in a positive way. It shows you are happy with how you spent your time.
Now, we are going to do a shadowing exercise with this full story. We will go through it 3 times. The first time will be very slow.
We want you to focus on the shape of your mouth and the sounds of the words.
My weekend was pretty low-key. I stayed in on Saturday and caught up on some sleep. Then on Sunday, I ran a few errands and did some life admin. It was nice to just take it easy.
Now, you try it. Speak out loud. It doesn't matter if you are on the bus or in your room. Moving your mouth is how the language stays in your head.
Let's do it one more time at a medium speed. Focus on the connection between words like stayed in and caught up.
My weekend was pretty low-key. I stayed in on Saturday and caught up on some sleep. Then on Sunday, I ran a few errands and did some life admin. It was nice to just take it easy. Excellent. Now let's try it at a natural conversational speed. Imagine you are talking to a friend you actually like. You are relaxed and happy. My weekend was pretty low-key. I stayed in on Saturday and caught up on some sleep. Then on Sunday, I ran a few errands and did some life admin. It was nice to just take it easy. That was great. If you can say those 4 sentences, you have already mastered more weekend English than most intermediate students. You are moving away from the basic textbook English and into real adult conversation.
I think it's also important to talk about how to respond when someone else tells you they had a boring weekend, because conversation is a two-way street. If your coworker says, "I just stayed and relaxed," what should you say?
This is a great point. You don't want to say, "Oh, that is boring." You want to be supportive. The best phrases to use are, "That sounds lovely," or "I think we all need that sometimes," or "Good for you."
Good for you is a really nice one. It shows that you respect their choice to rest. It makes the other person feel good about their boring weekend.
Let's practice that response. That sounds like a nice, relaxing weekend. That sounds like a nice, relaxing weekend.
That sounds like a nice, relaxing weekend.
So we have covered a lot today. We have talked about staying in versus staying home. We have talked about being low-key. We have mastered catching up on sleep, work, and admin. And we have learned how to run errands and take it easy.
This is the foundation of talking about your real life. Remember, English is not just for the big moments. English is for the small moments too. It's for the moments when you are just living your life. When you can talk about the small things, the big things become much easier.
I want to challenge you today. Don't just listen to this and then forget about it. I want you to think about your last weekend. Even if it was 3 days ago, try to describe it using at least 2 of the phrases we learned today. Maybe you had a quiet one. Maybe you caught up on some laundry. Maybe you ran some errands.
Say it out loud right now. Or, if you want to be really brave, leave a comment below this video and tell us about your low-key weekend. We read all the comments, and it is a great way to practice your writing as well as your speaking.
And if you found this helpful, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel reach more people who are feeling stuck with their English. When you like and subscribe, you are helping us create more of these lessons for you.
Before we go, let's do one final round of our key phrases. We'll do them fast, one after the other. This is the final blast for your mouth muscles.
I stayed in.
I had a quiet one.
It was pretty low-key.
I caught up on some sleep.
I ran some errands.
I did some life admin.
I took it easy.
I got some things done.
That was perfect. You are doing so well. Don't worry about being perfect. Just worry about being a little bit better than you were yesterday.
Exactly. Every time you use one of these phrases, you are building a bridge to the person you want to be in English. You are becoming a person who can talk about their life with confidence and ease.
We are so proud of the progress you are making. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and most importantly, keep talking. We will be back next week with a brand new topic to help you talk about your world.
Have a wonderful low-key week, and we will see you in the next lesson.
Take it easy, everyone.
You've got this. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I hope you're starting to feel that shift in your perspective. The next time Monday morning rolls around and that familiar question comes your way, I want you to take a deep breath and remember that your quiet weekend is a valid and interesting story. You don't need to invent a trip to the moon. You just need to use the phrases that show you're a real person living a real modern life.
It's truly about the confidence that comes from knowing you have the right tools. When you know the difference between saying I was stuck at home and I chose to stay in, you're not just changing a word, you're changing your entire energy in the conversation. People pick up on that. They see a confident speaker, not someone struggling for a textbook answer.
And remember, this is a journey. If you only remember one phrase today, let it be low-key or catch up. Start small. Use one phrase this week. Then come back to this video next week and pick another one. Repetition is the secret sauce to fluency.
That is so true. The more you hear these sounds and the more you say them, the more they become yours. They move from being words in a video to being words in your own voice.
We love being part of your journey. It is a privilege to help you find your voice in English. If there is a specific topic you want us to cover, something about your daily life that you find hard to talk about, please let us know. This channel is for you.
We are building this together, one topic at a time. Whether it's your job, your health, your plans, or your boring weekends, we are here to help you talk about it.
So as you go through your day today, keep those phrases in the back of your mind. Maybe even try to think in English for a few minutes while you're running your errands. Every little bit counts.
Absolutely. Every step forward is a victory. You're doing the work, and the results will follow.
Thank you for spending your time with us. We know how busy life can be, and the fact that you're choosing to spend it improving yourself is wonderful.
See you in the next one. We've got a great topic lined up that I think you're really going to enjoy.
Until then, keep talking, keep practicing, and remember to take it easy.
Goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.
One last thing to consider before you move on with your day. Think about the people you interact with. English is a tool for connection. When you use these phrases, you're inviting others into your world. Even a quiet, boring world is a place where people can connect.
That's a beautiful thought to end on. Connection, not perfection. That's our motto.
Exactly. Connection over perfection every single time.
All right, we really are going now, but the conversation doesn't have to stop here. Practice those phrases, use them in your life, and notice how much better you feel.
You've got the tools. Now go out there and use them.
We believe in you. See you soon.
Happy speaking.
When we think about the weekend, we often focus on the Saturday night or the Sunday lunch, but don't forget the transition periods. Friday evening is a huge part of the weekend conversation. If you're tired on Friday, you might say, I just wanted to crash.
Oh, that's another great one. To crash means to fall asleep very quickly because you are exhausted. It's very common to say, I got home on Friday and just crashed. It's a very relatable feeling for any adult.
It really is, and it fits perfectly with our theme of a low-key weekend. You crash on Friday so that you can catch up on sleep on Saturday. It all ties together.
It's like a story you're telling. Friday I crashed, Saturday I stayed in and caught up on chores, and Sunday I ran some errands. It's a complete narrative of a normal, productive, and restful weekend.
And that's the beauty of it. You've turned what felt like nothing into a 3-part story. You've given your listener a clear picture of your life. That's what fluency really looks like. It's not about long, complex sentences. It's about clear, natural, and relatable communication.
I think that's a really empowering realization for our students. You don't need to be a philosopher to be fluent. You just need to be yourself, with a few better phrases.
Exactly. Just be you, but with a bit more English confidence.
We see that confidence growing in you every day. Every time you watch one of our videos, you're adding another brick to your house of English.
And we're honored to be the builders helping you out.
All right, for real this time, we're heading out, but we're already looking forward to the next time we get to talk about English with you.
Stay positive, keep practicing, and don't forget to tell us about your quiet one in the comments.
We can't wait to hear from you.
Happy studying, everyone.
See you next time.
Let's just do one more quick drill on the word errands, because the pronunciation can be tricky. It's not errands. It's more like air-ands.
Air-ands, like the air we breathe. Running errands.
Running errands. Let's say it 3 times fast. Running errands, running errands, running errands.
Running errands, running errands, running errands.
My mouth feels ready now.
Mine too. It's all about that muscle memory.
Okay, we're done. Truly done.
Until next time.
Bye.
Catch you later.
Wait, I just thought of one more thing. The word chill. We can't talk about a low-key weekend without the word chill.
You're right. How could we forget? To chill or to chill out, it's probably the most common way for people under 40 to say they relaxed.
I just chilled out on Sunday. It's so simple and so effective.
I spent the whole afternoon just chilling. It's the ultimate low-key activity.
Okay, now our toolkit is officially complete. We have the sophisticated stay-in, the professional life admin, the relatable catch-up, and the casual chill.
No matter who you're talking to, your boss, your friend, or your neighbor, you have the perfect word for your boring weekend.
Now we really are going, we promise.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Stay cool.
And keep chilling.
Definitely.
Okay, bye for real.
Goodbye.
You're still here? I love your dedication. That's the kind of attitude that leads to real fluency. Since you're still listening, here's a tiny bonus tip. When you're talking about your weekend, try to use the word actually.
Oh, that's a good one. How do you use it?
Well, if someone asks, "Did you do anything exciting?" you can say, "Actually, I just had a very quiet one." It sounds very natural and it helps to manage the other person's expectations.
It's like a little signal that you're about to say something different than what they might expect. It's a very common conversational filler that native speakers use all the time.
Exactly. It's those little words that really make you sound like you know the language deeply.
Actually, I think that's the perfect final tip.
I agree. Now let's go and have our own low-key weekends.
Sounds like a plan.
Bye.
See ya.
Good luck with your English.
You're doing great.
Keep it up.
Peace out.
Talk to you soon.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, now let's actually stop.
Agreed.
3, 2, 1.
Bye.